Hey you guys, I'm Jasmine, and today I'm bringing you guys a reaction video to Love and Basketball. Now, if you're new here, I create content about a variety of different things. This is very much a dimensional channel. I talk about foods I like, shows I'm currently watching, unpopular opinions, hauls, reviews. I do everything over here because one thing about me, I like to do everything. You're not gonna get a niche over here. I am the niche, okay? But anyways, occasionally I do reviews and reactions to movies and shows. If you would like, you guys can check out my playlist that I have linked down below of different shows that I've started watching. I also have a playlist of different movies that I have currently watched. Also, please feel free to let me know in the comments down below any popular movies or recommendations that you have for me when it comes to reacting to movies or shows, because I am always debating on what shows I should react to, and if I've had a variety of people mention something multiple times, sometimes I will go back and I will watch something. The goal is for me to create at least one movie reaction a month, and then I'm going to start back doing my reactions to shows as well alongside of the other content that I create, because we like diversity over here. Now, I have avoided watching this movie for the longest, and I know what you guys are gonna ask me. Why is that? I'm gonna be biased and say it's because it had basketball in it. And I know. You guys are probably like, listen, I don't care for the sport that much. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what's going on. It's never been my gig. I have heard a variety of mixed opinions about this movie. In the past, when I was younger, people absolutely loved this movie, said it was one of their favorite love stories. But now that I'm older, a lot of people say that they don't care for the movie, and some people have even told me in passing that I'm going to be annoyed. I kind of wish they wouldn't have said that to me, but we're just gonna go for it, okay? I've only seen the beginning of this movie as well as the end of this movie. I don't know anything about what happens in between. We're gonna be watching this together. I'm going to summarize it, and then I'm gonna share my reactions as I go through it. That way, if you guys haven't seen the movie either, we can watch it together. But I'm not expecting that much. I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of comments to share, and hopefully this movie don't piss me off that bad. Let's jump into it. Also, the snack of the day. This is not sponsored, but you know, I would like to be sponsored. But anyways, the snack of the day is white fudge covered Oreos. These are freaking good. Absolutely love these. To me, I only need to eat about 2 of these and I'm good, because these are kind of rich. They are really good if you want like a little quick dessert that's not doing too much, especially in the middle of the night. But without further ado, let's jump into it. I'm about to pull it up on my tablet, and I'm gonna try to do this in a way where I don't get copyrighted. So let's go. So the movie starts off with this family moving in and these group of boys playing basketball. Now, I gotta say, the neighborhood is nice for Black people to be living in at that time. I have always imagined staying in an area like that, but I gotta tell you, the cost probably is extremely expensive at this point in time in life, and that doesn't seem to be the goal. It's given expensive, in debt, and your electricity is going to be rather high. As the guys are playing basketball, a person that is dressed kind of like a boy walks up and is like, yeah, can I play ball with y'all?
They like, you nice?
They like, yeah, let me play it.
Alright, bet.
Takes off the hat, it's a girl. Instantly, the guys,
Girls can't play basketball.
I don't know what it was about the stigma about girls not being able to ball, but some of these girls in the WNBA would dust some of these guys. We got Kyla Pratt, that's my girl. I love me some Kyla. She been working all these years, but she ends up hooping. The boys are,
yeah, this ain't it.
Keep in mind, I believe this is gonna be the love interest. He calling her a dog and saying she only responded to dog whistles. It's giving hater. Some of these guys be your own worst enemy. So Kyla hooping, because I don't know what her name is yet. She hooping, she shooting them, shot for shot. While the boy, he's starting to get mad, he's starting to get frustrated because he getting beat by a girl. So as they're hooping, the girl tells him,
I told you I was nice. I'm gonna be the first girl in the NBA.
And the boy is like,
nah, you ain't gonna be in the NBA. I'm gonna be in the NBA and you gonna be my cheerleader.
Boy, kids, sometimes the gender roles be gendering. And I know the times have definitely become different, whereas you understand that girls can do things too. Girls can hoop too with the guys, but he wasn't feeling that, end up shoving her on the ground. So her face gets scraped up, toe up. She go back home. Her mom cleans her up or whatever. Her dad basically like,
you tough, you got this, girl.
And the mom is like,
Yeah, she need to stop being a tomboy.
So, of course, we can see that the mom wants her daughter to change while the dad is okay with her being who she is. On the other side, the little boy basically creates a card saying that he's sorry for pushing her on the ground. And his dad is the Allstate. Is it Allstate or State Farm? I always forget that man used to act. Also, I forgot to mention, so the girl looks like she's proud of her scrape. I don't know what that's about. Personally, I would have been screaming bloody murder like, you really tried to off me and I'm going to sue. I'm just playing. I wouldn't do that. But she looked a little bit like she proud of having this scar from playing basketball, and couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. So the mom and dad are canoodling in the kitchen. He like,
girl, I know you ain't baked that cake. Who is that for? What you buy that cake for?
She like new neighbors, right? Now she proceeds to be digging her finger all in the icing on the cake. I thought you said this cake for strangers, next door neighbors, and you up there filling all up on the cake and feeding it to your husband. The dad proceeds to tell their son, you know, your mom got me with her fake baking, fake cooking. I thought that she could bake, but she couldn't. But she snagged me. And they basically end up doing too much making out in the kitchen, okay? So as the boy is making the I'm sorry card, he ends up sharing, he can't do this as in the cuss word. The mom and dad look at him like, what you saying? The boy reiterates that his dad has explained to him, do not use can't. Can't is not in your vocabulary. If you say can't, then you are not a man. Which, that's not really the main problem here. The problem is he cussing. So the wife shares that she's about to go over to the neighbor's house. She's asking, yeah, you know, husband, are you coming with me? And he's like, nah, I got business to take care of. And tells her to stop complaining, stop nagging. I'm trying to handle this business. Y'all go ahead without me. And they go over to the neighbor's house. Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I would not want to date somebody or be with a man that refers to me as bitching, me nagging and complaining all the time. I would not like that at freaking all. How am I nagging you when I just want to include you on us going over a neighbor's house to welcome them? You know what I mean? So the boy's mom and him, they go over to the house. You end up finding out that the dad is in basketball and he's been traded. That's why they're in this nice neighborhood. And the son basically wants to follow in his dad's footsteps. You could tell that the mom is kind of bougie. She basically explains that the neighborhood is becoming more black, I guess, in so many words. So the moms create a kind of awkward bond. You could tell that the boy's mom is kind of hyping herself up, talking about she can cook and she can't. The little boy even kind of side eyes her. Girl, Ma, you can't cook while you playing. She proceeds to be like, yeah, you know, I've lived next to this house for I don't know how many years, but I've never seen the inside of it. And the other mom proceeds to take her on a tour. So the boy, he takes some of the icing off the cake, which, why do these people not have no manners? Just putting their fingers all in the freaking cake. And the girl proceeds to do the same thing. And he asks her, so how is it that you could play basketball? So the girl expresses that she's always been able to play. Her mom kind of judges her for being different. The boy asks, well, does your dad know how to play? And she's like, nah, he works at a bank. The boy shares that his dad is a player for the Clippers and that his dad wants him to be a lawyer or a doctor and not necessarily following his footsteps. So they begin to get into a little debate about how good his dad is and compared to Magic. And the boy proceeds to realize that, yeah, she does carry herself differently. And he tells her if she ever gets into trouble, let him know because he run the street. Babe, you're in the suburbs. What's really happening in the suburbs? The girl shares that she could just tell her sister if she get into any trouble. You could tell the boy is starting to like her or be a little bit competitive while the girl is trying to be competitive towards him as well to show, yeah, even though I'm a girl, I can still do the same stuff you can do. Anything you can do, I can do better, you know. So they proceed to, he does something and then she does it too. So they're practicing kicking and doing certain moves and you already know somebody about to get hurt. Something gonna get broken. Okay, so surprisingly nothing breaks. Fast forward, the older sister is doing the younger sister's hair. She's struggling, combing, raking it. Just raking it. The mom expresses that don't lean on your knees or else they'll be black. I kind of wish I had known that information because my knees are kind of dark now. But anyways, the mom pulls out a dress that she wants the younger daughter to wear, to which she doesn't want to wear it. Now, they looking at their mom. She seems like she's feeling kind of off. And she's like, I just need to settle down. The dad comes in and he basically tells which one of these shirts I should wear for tomorrow. And you could tell that to some degree, it seems like the mom and the dad have a relationship where the dad potentially might be work, and he doesn't really pay attention to how the mom is doing. While the younger daughter, she realizes the mom is probably a little unhappy or a little tired and she peeps that. I feel like to some degree she probably doesn't want that for herself because she could easily peep it. We end up finding out the reason why she pulled out a dress for her to wear is because it's going to be her first day of school. She tells her that within them going to school, she's going to be riding with the boy to school tomorrow so that she'll know somebody on the way there. This is where we find out that the girl potentially kind of likes this little boy, where she tells the sister, make sure that you make my hair look nice. And it's like, okay, you ever think about when you were a kid and you had a crush on somebody and you really just wanted to look your best and look good, have your hair done or have a cute little outfit on to impress your crush? It really takes me back. So this scene is so weird to me because the boy can hear his parents being intimate in the sack, just disregarding the fact that they child in the other room and the walls are thin. I would have absolutely hated that. While this is going on, he gets out of bed and he can easily look into the neighbor's house and he sees the daughter getting her hair done by the big sister, and you could tell he's giving her that look like, she cute. I think I'm starting to like her. And to me, this is so weird because your parents are being intimate in a room and you checking out this girl. I know they're children, but still, it's now that I'm older, I don't know how I would have felt if I stayed by a crush and they could easily see into my bedroom. Terrified. I would be terrified. I would have to put up the curtains, close the windows. You can't see me because if I'm not looking my best, I'm gonna be self-conscious. So the first day of school, the little boy is waiting outside of the girl's house. She comes out. She's looking adorable. She's got on her yellow dress, her 3 little pigtails. He sees her and instantly he jumps right to the case.
You want to be my girl?
As they rolling their bikes out, she like, what I gotta do to be your girl? Asking the right questions because you need to know what you gotta do up front, because if you don't want to do it, you can say no. He proceeds to tell her they go to school together, they play basketball together. If she gets mad at him, he get her flowers. I feel it, I'm not gonna lie, that would be nice if that's the way the world was, where if a man pissed you off, they give you some flowers. But the girl proceeds to tell him, yeah, I don't like flowers. Can you give me some Twinkies instead? Because my mom be holding out on me. He like, girl, I got you. And she's like, okay, man, let's be together. It's so cute. You know what? I'm not gonna hold you. I guess if my man made me mad too, I would want food too instead. A full meal. That way, I wouldn't have to cook nothing. So then the boy is instantly,
I think we got a kiss now.
brother, you don't waste no time. She like, for how long? Bro, when I tell you, the kids just move a little bit too quick for me. Could you imagine? You move to a whole new neighborhood. You beat a boy in basketball. He pushed you on the ground and assault you. And then the next day you got a whole man and you getting kissed. I would have been so nervous. The anxiety of it all. The social anxiety of it all. So after they share this kiss, right, the boy instantly tells her, you gotta ride on my bike. You can't ride on your bike. She like, what are you talking about? Well,
my dad always drives my mom to work and around or whatever, so you supposed to do that.
And she like, nah, I don't want to do that. I want to ride my own bike. And basically he like, well, forget you then. And it's given very much controlling. He wants to emulate what his dad doing, thinking that's what a man is supposed to be. Some women are independent. Some women like to do things on their own. It's given, again, he want to control her at his young wee age. And she said, nah, I'm not about that. Which, kudos for her. So then the girl starts clowning his dad, talking about the dad plays for the worst players in the NBA, the worst team in the NBA. And they get to tussling. He pushed her off her bike. He like,
I don't want to be your man no more.
She like, bet. They just tussling, rolling in the grass. And I'm just, again, it's just how you go from meeting somebody to a breakup so quick. You know what? You was in elementary. Stuff was like that. Now, they literally rolling around in the grass. And I could only imagine if I was the parent.
What is going on? First of all, why are you laying hands on this little girl like that?
And girl, why are you tussling in your good yellow dress with this little boy in the grass?
So some time goes by and we see them when they're in high school. Monica is on the basketball team and she out here. She making them shots, she blocking. But girl, I'm not gonna lie, she still got a little attitude on her. She moving how she move when it comes to sports. So within her having this attitude, she ends up getting benched. We also see that the boy, I think his name is Q, he was watching the game. You know, some girls were interacting with him, but he ends up leaving after Monica gets benched. Fast forward, Monica is at home. They about to eat together, have a meal with the family, and she asked the dad to please talk to the coach because some people that could get her into a college at UCLA were there. You know, you lost your cool and you gotta keep your emotions in check. The mom tells her, you should stop acting like a tomboy. I thought this was a phase. You grow out of it. She proceeds to tell the mom that she's a lesbian, to which the sister starts kind of choking and laughing a little bit. So the dad tell her after, she jokes about that maybe it's time for her to focus on something other than basketball because she hasn't really gotten recruited yet and she still feels like she has some hope that somebody could recruit her because she has one more game left. The mom gets in her ass and explains, you focused on your other strengths, did your hair, you would be pretty, you could do something else. While all of this is going on, she looks out the window and sees her next door neighbor filling up on some girl outside. It's so funny because you end up realizing this is the actress that plays Niecy off of Moesha. Also, Regina looks so cute in this movie. I'm not gonna lie. I would rock the outfit and the makeup. We see a basketball game is going on. The cheerleaders are cheering, doing their thing. Even though I did not care for basketball, I absolutely used to love watching the cheerleaders. I think I was a cheerleader maybe for 1 year, and it was in elementary school. And the experience was just so different. Taunting the other team. So much sportsmanship. But Q is playing in his basketball game while Monica is watching the game. Now, while Monica is watching him play the game, she getting hyped up for him, the team winning and playing basketball or whatever. This girl, who is played by Gabrielle Union, you realize she wants to know information about who's hanging out with Q since they next door neighbors, what women he got going on. If he asking somebody to the dance, she want to know. Monica is like, girl, it's too many women. I can't keep up. Gabrielle Union's character is, girl, get him this note for me. Monica proceeds to tell her, give him the note yourself, girl. It ain't that big a deal. And she tells her,
girl, I'm not trying to look all fast.
What do you mean? What do you mean? You basically pressing to see if he doing stuff with somebody else or inviting other people to the house when you could just tell him directly, girl. It's always so interesting thinking about it. When I was younger, I didn't mind giving a guy a note. Looking back, I probably shouldn't have, but oh, to be young and dumb. I mean, to be just young and having crushes, you know? The girl proceeds to just stash the note in with the girl. Her friend rolls her eyes because you could tell that Gabrielle Union's character was using Monica to get connected to Q, her next door neighbor. And what's so crazy about all of this is she originally said,
girl, I don't want to be looking all fast.
But then proceeds to talk about this man's butt. And how she wants to lick the sweat off. Now, you could tell that Monica is annoyed by this girl thirsting after Q. Pan forward, we find out that Q is getting scouted by a variety of different colleges. This journalist is asking questions like, so where are you going? We find out that Q and his dad, they have done interviews together and stories together where they've been featured in papers and stuff like that. The dad is like, for the most part, he just really wants his son to get a good education, even though he seems to be happy for his son doing well at basketball. Now, even though his dad is,
yeah, I would like for you to go to an Ivy League school.
I don't necessarily want you to focus on basketball. It's not necessarily everything. He's still supportive of his son's dreams to do basketball if that's what he wants to do, which I like. I like that he is still being supportive of his son and sees that his son has potential like he did and like he does when it comes to playing sports. After the game, the dad ended up saying hi to Monica, and Monica tells Q, yeah, I need a ride home. I'll be at your car, big head. See, when somebody say big head, it's a little flirtation going on. So Q gives Monica a ride home. She proceeds to share with him how Shawnee Easton, who I guess is Gabrielle Union's character, gave her this note. She explains in the note that the girl finds Q to be attractive. She expresses she wants him to take her to the dance and that he'll be satisfied if he takes her to the dance. So Monica proceeds to call her a 304. Yeah, she don't want nothing but your body. She don't want nothing serious. She just want a bone. Q is like, well, I mean, she honest and I like the honesty. So Q asked her who she going with to the dance. And he was like, Spalding. She like, who's Spalding? And it's the basketball name. And he expresses to her the reason why she's not getting scouted to go to a school is because of her temper. She need to calm her temper down. To which she refers to the scar that he gave her when they were 11, saying that he was the one with the temper. And he like,
girl, that was a long time ago. We was kids.
So again, Q tells her she got to check her attitude if she wants to get scouted. Because if she doesn't, the chances of her getting into a college based off of her being on a basketball team probably won't happen. Q walks in the door. The mom is, whose hoop earrings is this? Come to find out, Q been bringing girls in the house, doing the dirty thing in his bed. The mom expresses to him, boy, you need to check yourself with these fast girls. They trying to trap you because they see you about to become a big baller with the money because you good at playing basketball. You need to be careful instead of just laying down with these girls. I'm really glad that she had this talk with him because a lot of times, even nowadays, you see so many basketball players get caught up with these different women and they definitely do be plotting on them just so they can get a baby. They don't really care about them. They just want to be able to be supported, getting a check just because they had a baby with the guy. So they change the subject and the mom asks, when is the dad going to be home? To which Q responds that he has a meeting and she's like, a meeting at 1 a.m. We come to find out that the mom is having issues with the dad, has been having issues ever since he's been in the NBA because she feels like she came second in the NBA and now she feels like since the dad transitioned from the NBA to being a scouter that she is starting to become second into his new career and she wished that he would stay home, be there for the family. Now me personally, I kind of feel like he might be cheating on her, but that's just me. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? He could be a good man that's hardworking. But a part of me feel like he cheating or is going to cheat. But we gonna see. So, okay. The mom proceeds to go off on the dad.
Yeah, so, like you said, you were gonna go and get a degree after this.
And he was like,
nah, you wanted me to get a degree. I like my job as being a scout. It's gonna lead to me being in a front office desk position so I could keep you in Gucci and gold.
A part of me almost feels maybe he hurt himself. The dad hurt himself in the NBA at some point in time. He trying to make ends meet while also trying to keep up this lifestyle. That's what I think happened, but we about to see. So the gloves come off. The mom is feeling insulted. She starts throwing the gold at him, at his head. Now we know we don't be violent, but she throwing the gold and she all you can really tell is that she doesn't really care about the gold and stuff. She really just wants her man to be at home with her. And I think that's the thing that gets me about people who date people who are in these sports fields, because I could not imagine having to stay at home or have kids and then I'm not present around my husband, or he's constantly having to do all this work where he's constantly occupied, he's doing interviews or doing meetings and all these events and playing sports and stuff, and then I'm kind of sidelined and we don't really get no time together. It just seems like it would be very hard for a wife to deal with, in my personal opinion. Then there's also the fact that you will be a part of the whole limelight too. It just seems like a lot to deal with. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys could put yourself in that position where you would be dating somebody and they're almost always gone like 2/3 of the year where you don't get time with them because they're working. How would you feel and how would you handle that? Let me know in the comments. It is so sad how Q obviously can hear his parents arguing. He gets out of bed, tosses on a shirt, opens his window, and then knocks on Monica's window since she's a next door neighbor. She gets out of the bed, sees him, opens the window, he jumps in, they close the window, she tosses him a pillow and a blanket, he sleeps on the floor. So you could tell that this is a regular thing where the mom and dad end up getting into it and he just goes to her house to go to sleep because he feels comfortable there. It's sweet, but it's also just very depressing when you think about it, because it's like, dang, they not really realizing the way that's impacting him. But also you realize that Monica is Q's safe space. Monica's sister is doing her hair, braiding it for her game, and she asked her, are you going to be at my game tonight? The sister is like,
yeah, I'll be here till halftime, but I gotta go study because I got finals and this cute boy is gonna be tutoring me.
The sister also asked her, hey, are you taking anybody to the dance? Monica proceeds to tell her, yeah, nah, I don't got no prospects. The sister explains that she told one of these fine guys at her college that, yeah, my sister looked exactly like me. You could talk to her. You realize that the sister feels a little bit insecure in comparison to her sister, and it's maybe because her older sister is more feminine or more girly, whereas Monica is more tomboyish. I feel like the only reason why Monica probably doesn't get any play is not because of the fact that she's a tomboy, but it's because of the fact of her attitude that probably drives people away from wanting to approach her. Monica asks her older sister, has she ever been in love, if they've ever loved her back, to which she said yeah, and she explains that guys only would love her when she cut them off, which is horrible. I'm gonna tell you right now, if somebody only loves you because they don't have access to you, you don't need them. A person should love you when you are present in their life, not when they feel like they're about to lose you. You know what I mean? So we go towards Monica playing her game. Q is there. Monica is trying to maintain her cool while playing the game, but you could tell she kind of losing it a little bit. She's trying to be present. We can see her going through the motions of doing a lot of self-talk, playing the game, shooting, doing the stuff, making the moves and everything. So you can tell Monica is going through it. She ended up getting fouled. It was a lot going on. She just kind of goes to the bench and cries it out a little bit while covering her face, because she feeling like this was her last chance at getting scouted so she could go to school to play ball. So it's time for the dance. Monica clearly does not want to go. Her sister put her on a little lipstick, a little makeup. She calls the mom in. The mom is like,
go give me my grandma pearls.
I don't know what it is about black moms and pearls, but that was like a staple thing. Put on some pearls, this will complete the look. And Monica is cute, so now Lathan always been a baddie. She always been fine. So she didn't really need to do much to her face. Honestly, I feel like that's with a lot of women. It's just, if your hair looks done, a lot of times you can make a move where you'll be cute. Yeah, you could put on a little concealer or a mascara or something, but you don't really need to do too much if your hair is done, you know? And the mom tells her, don't worry about the recruiters, don't worry about the game that happened yesterday, just focus on being beautiful, which, I mean, sure, but there's more to life than being pretty. You know what I mean? You can be sad. Clearly she's sad and she don't even want to go to this thing. But you're like, just focus on being pretty. Girl, what? What they got to do with how I feel? However, you realize this is probably the first time her mom has ever called her beautiful. And Monica is looking at her mom like, you really think I'm beautiful, which is sad than a mug. And they playing this soft music like, oh, this is so sweet. No, I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of hurtful because she's probably went practically her entire life not feeling pretty because of the way her mom talked to her. I'm not a fan. So we go to the dance, right? And the old school dances and the music, the soundtrack is a whole vibe. It takes me back. They said just got paid. It's Friday night party. I don't even know what the words are. Anyways, they lit. It's giving Soul Train. You know, a part of me kind of wants to go back and watch some old Soul Train episodes. I was hooked on the ones with Shamar Moore when he was doing all that bumping and gyrating and stuff. I really loved that man at one point in life. One day, I'm going to have to share a video showcasing my childhood crushes. So we see that Q actually did take Gabrielle Union's character to this dance. They're bumping and grinding, gyrating on a dance floor. So Boris Kojo is the date that the sister hooked her up with. It's the way he took off the coat and was looking at her butt like your sister wasn't lying about them looking alike. Bro. Pig. You know what I'm saying? While this is going on, you could tell that Monica feels uncomfortable with wearing a dress. She feels like out of place a little bit. But Q sees her while he's dancing with the girl that he came with. And he looks at her like,
oh, she look kind of good.
And he go over there to talk to her. Gabrielle Union, she come up and is like,
dang girl, I didn't know Nike made dresses.
It's always a hater. And that was one thing about some of Gabrielle Union's characters. They always made her into like a hating... I'm not about to cuss. But they always made her into like a hater. Like the biggest hater. Especially if somebody else was getting the man that she was interested in attraction, you know? So you can tell that her and the date, Monica and the date, they end up walking away because... too much. The date ends up talking her up, talking to her. He's trying to get to know her, but you could tell that Monica is uncomfortable. She doesn't have experience with men. So she doesn't really know how to interact with them. She feels uncomfortable.
The space is uncomfortable.
The outfit she in is uncomfortable. No experience with men, so it's just a bad combination all around. The guy pretty much jokes with her, what can I do to make you feel comfortable? And she's like, well, my mouth is dry. To which he goes and gets her some punch, which to me is a big no-no. Even though your sister put you on, this guy could slip you anything. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who this guy is. You just automatically trust in him. And I understand she in high school, but, you know. So Q ends up finding her. He like,
you know, the DJ Nice or whatever. Where you find that guy at that you came with.
And she was like,
it ain't Spalding.
Girl, okay, with the comeback. And the guys show up, he like,
yeah, you want to go dance?
And I'm like, where is her drink? You know what I'm saying? You said you was going to get a drink, and here you come. I'm still thirsty. They go dance, and Q basically watching them dance. Q watching her dance on the dance floor. Q comes out there with Shawnee. They dancing, and Monica and Q are kind of exchanging glances while they are dancing with different people. The director, whoever did this music placement funny because all you hear in the background is the song I Want to Be Your Man. But I could not imagine dancing with somebody and I want to dance with somebody else and I'm staring at them while they dance with somebody else. My feelings would be hurt. I would be real bitter, kind of mad. But the staring down is very intense where you could tell they looking at each other like, I would, this could be you. This could be us. But you're playing game. So Monica gets home. She notices her mom was waiting up for her. She sneaks into her bedroom, takes off her stuff. Well, takes off the jewelry. She notices she has a college letter. She sees that Q is home early too. She asks him, what happened with you and your date? I thought you would have been out. And he asked her the same thing. Come to find out, Q dropped off Shiny early. The college guy was trying to press Monica and he ended up taking her home when he realized it wasn't going anywhere physically. Which good on them because the peer pressure of being intimate sometimes is real when you're at that age. So So she grabs the letter and asks him to open the letter to USC because she's scared. Come to find out, she got into USC and he tells her that he's going too. So they hug, but she ends up kissing him. And he like,
whoa, what was that? What's happening?
And she like, and basically they end up making out. I don't know what it is about them rolling in the grass. But they fall in the grass, they roll it in the grass, making out or whatever. She pushes him off. She like,
oh, this too much.
I understand. Don't get pregnant. You gotta play the basketball, the games, you gotta dribble the ball. Well, disregard what I said, because they end up being intimate. I've never been a person that liked the intimate scenes in movies because I feel like they just focused on it too much. I get it. They're doing the do. I get it. But why is a whole song playing? 3 minutes. It's given we could have focused on something else. Because I was really sitting here like, why is this movie 2 hours long? So, yeah, they do the do, I guess. I hope they use protection. Okay, they did use protection. That's good. Again, it's just something about these intimate scenes where I'll just be like, bro, cut the cameras. Cut the cameras. Let's move on. Let's move forward. But I know it's showing the first time for her. So fast forward, Monica is in college. You can tell that she's kind of having a tough time adjusting to being a part of the USC basketball team. The coach is drilling her, doing all these different tests and stuff like that. The teammate expresses to her, girl, the coach is always hard on freshmen. This is normal. It's just you have to adjust. You have to see if you actually meant to be here. If you're going to put in the work, put in the effort. If you can deal with it, then you going to be for real part of this team for real. Q and Monica, they end up talking, coming out. You could tell that Quincy has a big head. And when I say big head, which is the reason why Monica calls him that, is because he kind of arrogant, he kind of full of himself, he hype himself up, and different girls approach him, and they flirting with him right in front of her, and he is allowing it. He's like, there's nothing wrong with me showing the appreciation to a fan. And Monica is like, I'm standing right here. Quincy doesn't really see it as a big deal. So Quincy explains to her, out of all the girls, Monica is the only one he knows that's for real about him. I don't know, something about that, I don't really know how I feel about that, because are you settling for Monica because you know that she's for real, or do you like her for real and you've always liked her? Are you basically settling for her because you know you can trust her? Or do you genuinely like her and you appreciate that she's real and been in your corner all this time? So Monica is in practice. She hustling, playing with her other teammates. They playing or whatever. Now, while they are doing, I guess it's a scrimmage, I guess that's what you call it, she ends up shooting a shot and it goes in, but she ends up posing for a minute, which causes the other girl that she's supposed to be guarding to score on the other side. And the coach gets upset because she like, you focusing on posing, not focusing on the game and getting your head in the game, and tells her, show me the pose again and just stay in that pose for the rest of the game. Dang, they taking this ball is life serious. And they like, oh, you gotta pose like that for the rest of the game. And I know that junk gotta hurt. It's something about just holding your hands up. I remember when I was in school, sometimes we would have to do the things where we had our hands out, we would have to squat up against the wall. I used to hate that junk so much. So after they end up training and stuff and practice, one of the girls ends up telling her, the one that she was checking or whatever, explains to her, like, that's what you get for trying to make me look bad. And Monica was like, I ain't had to try that hard. And the girl basically explains to her, like, the only reason you got chosen is because one of the girls who was already chosen to be on the team got pregnant. And I'm not gonna lie, the thing that I didn't like about this part was the fact that, and this is something that I've heard, it can be kind of normal where people don't really care for some of their teammates on a team. I would want to like my teammates, because if I don't, it's like not liking my coworkers, and I gotta be around them all the time. How are we supposed to actively win? I don't know. I would not want to play with somebody that kind of got it out for me, or that's not a good team player, or it's like, if you've been there longer, wouldn't you interact with me better, show me the ropes and stuff, like not be bitter or not be giving me a hard time. I don't know, I never understood that concept of giving someone new who's supposed to help you succeed on a team being mean to them. If they're supposed to help you be successful, which can also help you make money or to get you seen, it just seemed like kind of productive, but it also just gives competition while you already on a team, and I don't really care for that. We fast forward to after that interaction. Monica is venting to Quincy about what happened. He explains to her,
are you gonna complain? You gonna keep playing? Or do you just want to stay at home and be my girl?
basically saying she could be a basketball wife. Then they begin to play a little game of strip basketball. As they play in, Monica do a little move on him and she says,
all is fair in love and basketball.
I don't know what it is, but I love when I'm watching something and they say the movie name, like the movie title in the movie. I don't know what that is, but I love it. Again, another intimacy scene, but it's cut short. Appreciate you. Now, you know what's funny about this? They show that people are hyping Quincy up on the news. They talk about him being one of the new starter players on USC. People are hyped for it. And there's this game, right? And it's so funny because he coming out and I think he's like the shortest person on the team. He like jumping up, running out there to meet hands with these other basketball players on his team. I don't know nothing about basketball, but it does make me wonder, is there a minimum height requirement to play basketball, or is it just about the way you play? Because I never know. Also, so you know what's so unfortunate about watching this whole segment of Quincy playing versus Monica playing is the fact that you can see that they automatically gave Quincy time to play, where he's starting, where he's into the game, he's starting the game. Whereas Monica, she's on the bench, but she's steadily training, she working hard. We haven't really seen any of Quincy training, which to me is just a foreshadow that, you know, Monica really putting her all into it, while Quincy, something potentially could happen, or he may slack off, or he might not be putting his all into playing basketball. It's just the fact that stuff is given to him. It makes me kind of wonder, is stuff given to him because of who his dad is? So I think that he's naturally talented. Is it because he's a man, which is why things are different for him when it comes to playing sports, playing basketball, or is he actually just really that good? Because I always thought if you are new, if you're a freshman, a lot of times they won't put you in unless you're like the top, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's just so interesting seeing the difference in the dynamics of both of them who are trying to do something similar, but they're both treated differently for whatever reason. Also, you know, the other thing that's really getting me is when the girls are playing basketball, it seemed like the one girl that basically is giving Monica a hard time keeps pulling on her shirt while they play in the game, and I'm like, I thought you weren't supposed to be doing that. Sure, you're supposed to get the ball out their hand, but you constantly just yanking on her shirt. Like, that's not how, or at least I don't see the men pulling on each other jerseys like that. It's given, why is she playing this game? Why aren't you taking her out for doing some stuff that you're not supposed to be doing playing basketball, you know? So Quincy and his dad end up going out to go get drinks, right? Quincy hyping himself up to his dad, like,
people telling me I'm a lottery pick. They saying this, and that.
His dad, like, what are you talking about? Who is saying this? He like,
just people.
And the dad proceeds to tell him to focus on getting a degree, focus on his education. The NBA always gonna be here. Because once you go pro, you might have to start dealing with stuff like what I'm dealing with. Where he explains to Q, he has this girl basically telling him that he is the father of her baby. And Quincy like,
that's crazy. I mean, is it true or whatever?
And he like,
how could you ask me that? Like, no, it's not true.
He basically explained that he had met this girl at a party, and that's what's been holding over his head for some time, and she trying to act like they slept together. Now, whether it's true or not is something else to deal with. But I will say, I feel like his father is pushing the agenda of him getting an education on him, because again, I really do feel like something happened to his dad, where you don't want to be in this field, do something else that's more consistent, more productive, versus playing basketball. And not this man already getting people wanted his autograph and he a freshman, you know? Something about that is so insane to me because why? I don't know. Do people naturally do that for college, I guess, basketball players where they want their autograph? I could understand if they're already about to become pro. Maybe they see like, oh, you could have the potential to become pro, so I want your autograph before you make it. So Q goes to see his mom and finds her drinking. She's been crying. Come to find out, she realizes that, well, Q notices that his mom is going through it. He thinks that it's about the dad having a baby on her or whatever. And Q is like,
so you gonna believe somebody else, some random 304 off the street instead of dad?
She hired a whole private detective, a whole PI, private eye, and found out that he'd been sleeping around with somebody else. And I said it. I knew he was sleeping around with, I knew he was cheating. I knew he was a whore. I knew he was out in the streets. I just knew it. See, I knew this was gonna be toxic. I really did. She shows her son the pictures, and she was like, I was telling you to watch out for these 304s. I should have been telling your dad. She expresses a part of her felt that she knew he was doing something, stepping out on her, but she really needed the proof first. I really feel for her because I feel like this is something that happens to a lot of people. A lot of people who date people, NBA players, stuff like that. Sometimes they do. They will step out on their wives or husbands or whatever. It's truly unfortunate. It is very much an unfortunate thing. But she going through it because she realizing that her world is basically crumbling down. Because when you think about it and look back how she really wanted her husband to stay at home or come be with her, be with the family, and then only for her to find out that the husband has been stepping out on her and doing all this stuff while she's kind of been at home lonely. So Q attempts to console his crying mother. She realizing the man that she loved is not who he really is, that her marriage is falling apart. He ends up seeing Monica, confides in her, telling her he taught me all these things, and I'm finding out this man is a liar and he basically been doing my mom dirty. Monica is like, well, even though he did your mom wrong, that doesn't erase the stuff that he's done for you over the years. And Q is going through this perspective of evaluating who his dad really is. He feels like his view of his dad is tainted now because of the fact of what he did to his mom and the way that basically his dad looked him in his face and practically lied about sleeping with other women to him. It has to be really rough being a child, realizing that your parents aren't what you thought they were, and realizing that they had this whole other side to them that they hid from you, or the way that they hurt one of your other parents. It's got to be a difficult process watching your parent that's been hurt going through that, and also just realizing that your parent is not as perfect or someone that you perceived as a role model as you thought they were. So Monica is looking at the time and ends up realizing that her curfew is about to come up, and you could tell that Quincy is annoyed by this because he's like, I'm trying to be vulnerable with you, I'm trying to confide in you, you worried about sports. And she like,
bro, if I don't follow the rules, I'm not gonna be able to suit up and play basketball.
You could tell he feels some type of way about it, but he like, okay. She tells him, I'll stay up. Come talk to me. Give me a call. And I think the thing that's so interesting about Q is he definitely seems like a character that always gets his way. But when it comes to Monica, she lives by her own rules. She does what she wants. She doesn't give him passes or whatever. I have my own goals, I have my own dreams, understand it. And to me, not necessarily right now, but I feel like it's going to be an issue later. Oh, I didn't even realize this. So Quincy is starting to play kind of bad because of everything that's going on with his family. Yeah, it's kind of concerning if that's going to impact him maintaining his role as starter. You really be having to have your head in the game. You can't let other stuff going on get into your head when it comes to doing this. It's like all or nothing, I'm guessing. So as I'm watching this, it's so interesting how they trade off where Monica is starting to do well because she's playing now since the other girl got hurt. Whereas Q, he's too in his head. He's kind of messing up with shooting, messing up on passes, messing up with dribbling the ball. I don't think he understands how to cope with his emotions. At the beginning of the movie, it was all about Monica handling her emotions, navigating her own personal emotions, and how she was processing things. But now it seems like it's transitioned to being about how Q is dealing with his own personal stuff in life and his own emotions and how it's kind of rolling over into him playing basketball. So Monica was able to win them the game. She didn't give up. She showed promise. She ended up connecting with her teammates and it was all cool. The coach ends up calling her into the office and explains to her, you know what? I see you out here doing your thing. You got it. I want you to do starter for these games. Monica asks, what about the other girl with her legs? She's like, you want to do it or not? And she's like, no, I want to start. And she explains, you be riding me all the time. Basically, I didn't think you saw anything in me. And she's like, if I wasn't hollering at you,
I'd go horse for you. I only go horse for people I care about.
If I'm not talking or paying you any attention, that's when you should be concerned about if you got it or not. So this is the beginning of Monica getting into her own of doing basketball for real and being an actual player. Okay, so here's the part where I get annoyed. They are at a party, right? Now keep in mind, this is the first time Monica is really celebrating. She with her teammates, is welcoming, she having a great time vibing out. She sees Q. Q already drinking a little bit. Because he's salty because he lost his game, right? Now, Monica sees him. He sees her. She having a good time. And you could tell he already on demon time. He already annoyed, feeling some type of way because his game didn't go that well. She walk up to him. She tell him, yeah, I went to your place. I went and celebrated with my team. And then I went straight towards your place, but you weren't there. And then they told me that you was here. She says she's sorry for his game, him, and what happened. But he doesn't share any congratulations for her. He's not supportive. He doesn't say anything. One of her teammates comes over, hugs her, and was like, did you see your girl?
She did really well. She gonna be starting.
The friend is hyping her up, and he basically ignores what she's talking about and is like, where the keg at? And I'm telling you, it just be, sometimes your man they be your own enemy. It's giving jealousy. I'm jealous of my girl and her success because I'm messing up. Not a fan. Not a fan. Feel free to check out this video entitled My Boyfriend Isn't Supportive of Me. I talk all about this situation in this video. The video will be linked in the cards up above. So you can tell that Monica is peeping that her man Q, he kind of, a little off, not being supportive of her, whatever. So the girl who was on the team giving her a hard time initially, who hurt herself, whose spot she took, she tells her good job on the game and she gives her advice, don't ever let a freshman take your spot, because I'm guessing this is going to impact her career of her potentially going to the NBA. And Monica, you could tell she feels bad, but she got to do what's best for her. So after this, Monica peeps and sees that some girl is flirting with Q, and Q is responding. It looks like he's interacting, whispering in her ear back. Monica sees this, she walks over, she like, who is that? He like, nobody. You realize that Q trying to press her.
This party whack.
He want to be physically intimate with her. Monica looking at him like,
bro, you drunk? Don't you want to talk about what you found out yesterday? What's going on?
Nah, I'm about to head out. This party whack.
When in reality, they celebrating. It's just really messed up because you realize it's very much one-sided. If things not going well for him, he don't really care about what she got going on, how she was doing, but when she was going through stuff, she was still supportive of him. He leaves and she's, well,
you drunk? I'm not trying to be intimate with you when you drunk. I'll stop by your place later.
And he's like, nah, I got curfew, basically giving her the same energy that she gave him yesterday, which, to be fair, he could have curfew because of how he played, but are you being petty because you being passive aggressive? Are you bitter because you lost? And you mad that I won? What? Alright, so now we get into some other juicy mess, right? Q gets to his dorm, yeah? Or apartment, whatever. His dad's sitting there. I'm like, oh, the mom put him out. Q like,
bro, you could let yourself out. I ain't trying to hear what you talking about.
He explains, I made a mistake. Things just happened, but, the baby ain't mine. It's so crazy to me because the dad, like,
your mom was quick to show you them pictures of who I was being intimate with.
He explains that the mom got pregnant when she was 19. He wasn't ready for marriage. He took up for his responsibilities. Bro, is it her fault solely that you got her pregnant? You could have just wrapped it up. Or not did anything at all. This is just me, okay? Because I know times were different back then. But I am not a person who believes in the fact that you need to get married just because you get pregnant. I really do not believe in that because a lot of times people do not be compatible. You may be thinking, oh, I'm giving this child a home, but if it's a lot of arguing or it's a lot of turmoil or conflict within the household, that's not ideal for the child. Even though both parents are in the household, that does not mean that it's a healthy space for a child to grow up in. I mean, look at Q. When he was younger, when they was teenagers, when his mom and his dad would argue, he would go to his next door neighbor's house and sleep in her room. It's just really crazy. So the dad proceeds to tell him that when you in the NBA, it's going to be women flocking to you every which way.
Sometimes they will get you, they'll get past security, they'll get to your door.
And basically he was saying he ain't had no self-control and he just broke down and he was intimate. Dang, you a dog.
You a whole dog. Because
you had to know what these girls be coming up here for. They don't even like you for real. They just want to blink, get a baby, and get your money.
And it's just so crazy.
Listening to this man say this All-State State Farm man. Because he is the All-State State Farm spokesman. You in good hands. You know what I'm saying? Bro, what are you even saying right now? You saying that you allowed yourself to get in this problematic situation. You had a whole wife and you couldn't control yourself. And he expressed to his son, that's probably going to potentially be you. This is insane. So the dad tells him, the reason I lied to you is because I didn't want to see that look on your face, which is basically disappointment. Q is like,
well, since we being honest, I'm about to drop out of school, become pro.
I'm sorry, but did you just see the game you just played today? What you mean you turning pro? I'm gonna need you to focus on the task at hand, build yourself up, get a backup plan. And I think that's the thing that really gets me about people who get into sports. Anything can happen. You could get hurt, you could have a freak accident, something could happen where your leg broke up or twisted up and you can't play for real. Then what do? What do you fall back on? Because all those women that was flocking to you before, they ain't gonna be caring about that. You ain't got no money. And I feel like that's the thing. People don't really look up for a backup plan. I think his dad is focused on setting him up so he has something else to rely on, something else to do besides just NBA. And the dad is telling him, I can't let you do this. And Q like,
I thought Kent wasn't in the man's vocabulary.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was like, oh, not him using your own wordage against you that you beat into, well, not beat, but you inbred into him. A part of this also makes me wonder too, is Q potentially self-sabotaging himself because it's conflicting with what he aspired to be like his dad, and he is feeling some type of way about how everything is like subliminally, subconsciously, where he's messing the game, fumbling it up, and is feeling a disconnect from his dad, but also he's still trying to be like him, but at the same time he's not. It's just a lot there. So much. So Q cries a little bit after his dad leaves. Understandably so. He feeling frustrated. He feeling overwhelmed. A lot going on. So Monica plays. She wins her game, right? She comes and visits Q. She's like, hey.
You won at my game.
Q is like,
I had a meeting. Did you win?
And she's like,
yeah, I did win.
She sees that Q's ironing his shirt. He about to get ready to go. He gets up, gets ready to go. Opens the door, there's another girl there, and he hugging her like they a thing. And Monica like,
what's going on?
She don't say that, but she can peep. You got a hold of the girl, you kind of cheating on me. And she leaves. And I'm not gonna lie, I would have flat out said, I would have been like, so you cheating on me now? Bet. And I would have just left him alone. Because clearly this girl a groupie. And this girl who you don't really know for real. And you not being supportive of me playing my games. It's given she need to get rid of this man. Focus on herself. If she end up meeting somebody, she do. Because me personally, this where the love would have had ended. This movie would have been done right here.
Right here, this would have been done.
And also the girl that's there is, girl, do you not have no self-respect? Clearly that's her man's because everybody knew that they was the couple.
Everybody knew they together.
You basically was just like,
I'm gonna talk to him too.
Gold digger. So Monica is furious. She mad. She drives back home. This kind of pissed me off. So she gets there. The mom pulls up. She's like, oh, what are you doing home? Monica says,
I didn't know I needed a reason to come home. Where's dad?
And she tells her that her dad is at the bank at his job. Monica is upset. And her mom's like, you good? She's like, yeah, I'm fine. And the mom is okay, basically ignoring how she's doing. And she tells her it's just a game. And Monica is like, what? She's like, well, you get in this mood every time you lose. It's just a game. Girl, you don't pay attention to nothing that your daughter do. You don't come to her games. You're not supportive of her endeavors. You don't even know her for real. You don't really know what's going on with her. You ain't ask her for real. Sit down with her. You didn't show that you interested in how she doing. You clearly see that she's upset. You not really being a good mom. It's giving very much self-absorbed. You act like you know everything, but you don't. I can't wait till the dad come home so they could talk. So Monica leaves. She ends up bumping into Q, and he like,
can we talk?
He expresses to her that it took some other girl for her to notice him and how he doing or whatever. He basically said he took a cheap 304 to a date to Burger King. He trying to blame her, bro. But she was there for you. She was trying to make time for you. She was trying to be present for you. But you mad because she didn't jump when you say jump? What is your problem? And then you not being supportive of her at all.
In her dreams at all.
Dump him. Just dump him. Get rid of the whole man. Throw the whole man away. Again, this situation is so insane to me because he proceeds to tell her he wants to talk, and because she's not telling him,
put me before basketball,
he tried to manipulate her feelings like, well, I'm not saying I really want to be with you if you ain't got time to put me first. How arrogant can you be? Everybody else be kissing your butt, doing all this stuff for you. But because she got her own goals, got her own dreams, you out here acting up, acting out, and she like, how am I supposed to be able to trust you when you feeling neglected? Literally, it's just a moment, and he want her to be physically present. You know I have curfew. You know I'm here on a scholarship, and you trying to make me jeopardize that? That's what I flat out would have said. So you only care about your feelings. You don't care about mine, is what you're telling me. When you know this has always been my goal. This has always been my dream.
And I'm present for you.
I'm definitely present for you. I can't physically be there when I have to follow the freaking rules. But you looking at me like I'm the one with the problem. Boy, bye. Because it's giving you don't care about me, you don't respect how I feel, you don't respect what my goals are, what my dreams are. You want me to basically give up my dreams because of whatever you're going through. Just do what you're going to do, deal with your stuff on your own because I'm leaving you alone. And he explains to her, since you got your priorities mixed up, I'm dealing with a lot of stuff right now, I don't really need a relationship. Like, okay, bye. Bye. So within all this, he tells her,
I'm about to go pro. I don't know where this going to take me. I still would like us to be friends.
I used to hate when people would come at me with that.
Well, we can still be friends.
No, you still want to have access to me is what it is. You still want to have access to me so that you could potentially come back again later. Or so you could be nosy and see what I got going on. Like, no, bye. Gosh, I am so concerned. I really hope she keep her emotions in check and she still does well in these games.
Ooh, I can't stand it.
I can't stand it when a man just come out of nowhere with some mess. When they know you got stuff going on that could be potentially just life-changing.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
So fast forward some years, Monica ends up playing for a basketball team in Spain, which is so crazy to me. Is that a normal thing where they draft women from the States to countries overseas? I did not know that was a thing. But she's playing for a sports team in Barcelona, Spain, where the coach is basically like, just get the ball to Monica. Now, while they are about to come out to play this game, Monica runs into the girl whose place she took when she was at USC. Basically, they have little chit chat where they're like,
girl, how you been? Yeah, I'm looking forward to being you in your house.
And she like, so they end up playing against each other. And I think it's really cute how when Monica was running to where she was supposed to meet up for her team, how people was asking for her autograph. So I'm assuming she's a big name in Spain. But it also makes me wonder, wouldn't you feel uncomfortable going to a whole team where you don't have anybody or know anybody for real? It just seemed like it would be a very overwhelming spot to be in, where it would be lonely. So Monica ends up winning the game against the other girl, but they end up going out to dinner, and the girl's like,
girl, you basically still the same old cocky, arrogant woman.
And Monica ends up laughing as she removes her big trophy off the table. So they chit chat a little bit, and the girl basically asks her,
"So you ain't been with no Spaniard man over here?"
Monica says,
"Nah, girl, I'm not focused on that."
The other girl's like, well, in Italy, they love them some black women over there. Monica proceeds to ask her, does she ever miss going back home? The woman proceeds to tell her,
"I mean, I do miss being at home, but like, what's the alternative? Because we not really gonna be able to play sports for real."
And she explains that over there, overseas, they actually treat them like somebody, like they actually Hollywood stars. They get to play what they love to play, which is basketball. She expresses how one of the girls ended up quitting playing basketball and now works at a bookstore. You really have to choose your battles if this is something that you love to do. You have to be set up in a spot where you can play. Otherwise, you basically gonna have to have something else to fall back on. After dinner, you see that Monica is in her apartment. It's a decked out, really nice laid out apartment, but it is very clear that she is alone. She's watching Family Matters, but in Spanish. She just seems lonely. The dad of Q is watching him play. He's playing for the Lakers now. And during one of his games, he's not really doing so well, but then he scores some points. However, when he comes down off of making a slam dunk, he ends up hurting his leg. So his dad sees him, comes to the hospital after seeing him on TV hurt himself. He gets to the hospital, runs into the mom. The mom looking good, you know what I'm saying? She cut her hair short. This is probably the first time of them seeing each other, I guess, in a while, because I'm assuming they had a divorce or they separated, whatever. He asks her, like, what happened? And she tells him that he tore his ACL, which I hear that a lot when it comes to basketball. Like, that's like one of the most awful things you could do when it comes to being basketball, because I guess you can't really play anymore. And he asks her how she doing, and she tells him she's happy. I'm like, yes, good for you, girl. Leave that cheating man alone. She proceeds to tell him that,
yeah, he probably not gonna want to see you. I'm gonna just tell you that right now.
And she walks off. And the dad pretty much is just sitting there kind of sad. So I'm guessing after some time passed, they became distant after everything that happened with the mom and stuff like that. They probably don't really have a good relationship at this point in time now. Oh, and we see the mom got a new man too. Okay, I see you, girl. Now, anyways, the dad ignored what she said and proceeds to knock on that door and come in the room. Q is looking at him.
Why are you here?
He like, I came to check on you. Q is like,
bro, after 5 years?
And the dad pretty much gives him
the phone worked both ways. It seemed like you divorced me when me and your mom got divorced.
And that's one thing I don't like about some parents. I do not like the concept of you need to contact me. Bro, I didn't ask to be here. You contact me. You the one who wanted to birth me, wanted me here. Put your effort in. Why am I chasing you as a kid? Did you even want me? I don't know. I just never understood that concept of the kid needs to reach out to the parent. Alright, so this one to get a little emotional. I'm not gonna hold you. It ain't tear me up, but it was tearing them up on the screen. The dad gives him a speech about how he believes in him and that he could be whatever he wanted to be and that he feels that his son had way more potential than he ever could. He could play ball, he could do anything he wanted to. And Quincy kind of looks at him and like, how come you were trying to mold me into this man that you couldn't be yourself? The dad explains to him, I just couldn't be that man, but I know you could be. Because he really had high hopes for him versus himself to some degree. And in some way, I feel like the thing was the dad probably leaned more towards sports because he probably felt like, I'm a more athletic person, I'm not as smart. But when he looked at his son is smart and athletic, and he felt like he had the potential opportunity to do a lot of different things, had a lot of options, a lot of different paths for him versus what he had available to him when he was younger. So he wanted his son to make better choices to him and be better set up for, his life in the future. We realized in the hospital room, a lot of people have been sending Q flowers, right? He was in the bathroom and he ends up hobbling out. Keep in mind, his back of his gown is open. Monica comes around the corner.
Oh, didn't think I seen this sight.
And he like, oh,
I didn't think you was gonna see me.
He wasn't expecting to see her, but she came, she brought him some flowers, and she basically compliments him on his peach fuzz that has grown in. Because they ain't seen each other. This is the first time they actually seen each other as adults, I assume. So you could tell Q's still trying to be a macho man because she like,
ain't you supposed to be laying down?
He like,
nah, I'm good.
He trying to stand up and talk to her. It's giving, bro, sit down. Sit down. You doing too much. You putting too much strain on your good leg. So Q explains to her that he's been hitting her up throughout the 5 years that they haven't talk to each other. He has hit her up a couple of times, and she explains to him, which it may not be true, but she says that her answering machine has always been broken. He asks her when is she going back to Spain, and she explains that she kind of doesn't want to go back. She's thinking about staying there. Why is she explaining that she want to come back home? Why Tyra Banks walk in the door, and I guess this is his girl now? Is giving gold digger. I know she gonna dump him. I know she gonna dump him when they say he can't play no more. I know it. I just know it. Proceeds to introduce Tyra Banks as Kira, his fiance. And you could tell Monica is hurt. People be better than me because I would have hightailed it out of there. It has been 5 years. I'ma head out.
How long you knew her? Okay, I'ma head out.
So Monica comes home, tells her mom, hi or whatever. The mom says, yeah, your sister's bringing a baby. So I guess the sister had a child. Monica tells her that Quincy is engaged to the stewardess, which the mom has already met her because his mom had a barbecue and she ended up meeting the girl. Normally, Monica doesn't really talk to her mom, but she asks her mom, like, well, what should I do? And the mom is like, see where they register, send her a gift. And Monica gets mad because she like, bro, are you aware that I like this guy? Like, that's what it's giving. The mom is,
well, what did you expect me to say? Beat her up? Go have sex with him?
So Monica and her mom begin to unpack a whole bunch of emotions where Monica's mom perceives her, like she thinks that her daughter had an issue with her because her daughter looked down at her for being a housewife. Again, the mom is very self-absorbed. It's very clear. And she's like,
you basically were embarrassed of me because I was a housewife.
Monica expresses to her the reason why I was embarrassed of you is because you never stood up for yourself. Whenever there's an issue, you just pushed it down. You never wanted to address it, talk about it. And her mom slaps her in her face. That's where she get her emotions from. And Monica was looking at her. My issue is I don't ever want to feel like I can't be myself. I can't be honest about how I feel. And I gotta basically shut up for my husband so he could feel like a man. Which, girl, live how you live. Don't ever put yourself down or put yourself in the back burner just to keep somebody around. That's how people get sick. When you shoved what you want and your feelings to the back burner, you don't talk about things. That's how people get sick. It's just stress building up.
And then it's unhappiness building up.
Which can cause resentment. I feel like Monica, even though she used to be a hothead, I feel like she got the right idea where she's basically, I need to be able to speak to my person and we understand each other and respect each other and each other's feelings. So the mom tells her story about how she put what she wanted on a back burner because she got pregnant with the first child. Then she had another baby. One of the days she remembers is when Monica looked beautiful for her spring dance. And to me, it's just given appearances. That's the thing she's focused on.
Appearances.
Don't get me wrong. She cared about her family having their meals, they eating, that they were good in the household, but she didn't really take the time to really get to know her kid or to even express herself. You sacrificed what you wanted and how you felt for the expense of your family, but at the same time you also did not take the time to get to know your family. I don't know, it just really was given. You focused on this perfect picture instead of really getting to know everything that's within the picture. Monica proceeds to tell her mom that it mattered that she wasn't at her games, to which her mom makes the realization,
oh, I probably should have been present for the games.
Because she always thought, well, you had your dad and your coaches. She couldn't connect to it. She didn't relate to it. Therefore, she didn't think she had to be there. Now, Monica ends up going through her room, clearing out all her basketball stuff, and turning it into a regular place for her to be in, like an actual grown-up adult bedroom. And you find out that she ended up getting a job through her dad's bank. Put her sports in the back burner. It's so sad. It's really unfortunate. Now, while all this is going on, Q is doing physical therapy, trying to get his leg together. And while this is going on, she's moving stuff around, and I guess Q and his fiance are getting ready to move, or she's helping Q move into his place. And they're packing up, and Monica can clearly see them interacting. It continues to be a montage of Q working out, trying to get back in shape with his ACL and everything. Monica ends up getting off work work, and Q sees her. They run into each other. They talk a little bit. He tells her it's about to be 2 weeks till he get engaged, till he get married, and she like, you gonna be able to walk down the aisle in that knee. He like,
yeah, I got it.
And he keeps pressing her like, why did you give a ball? She was like, life just don't turn out the way you think it would. And he explains to her that he also is thinking about giving a ball himself. He expresses that the reason why he even wanted to play was because he was trying to be like his father. But now that he's grown up, he's starting to feel like he should do something else. He kind of want to go back to school. He was explaining that he didn't tell his fiance that information yet, which to me, this girl about to leave him, about to dump him when she finds this information out. I'm telling you, I really think she just wanted to be a basketball wife. When he shares that, I feel like she gonna dump him. Truly. Q ends up hyping her up.
I ain't never seen no girl move like you do on that court. You basically was made for the court, so why ain't you doing it no more?
Now keep in mind, while they having this conversation, the mom is watching. She lurking in the window. She watching this whole conversation happen. We see the sister with her child or whatever. They spending time with Monica and then the mom, right? Now, the mom ends up telling her, one thing I admired about you was how you always had this fight in you. And she explained that when she said that Q could have did better and found somebody better, she was talking about her. And this kind of lit a fire under Monica to talk to Q. So she ends up, I guess, telling him either the night before or a few days before he's supposed to get married. She comes out, knocks on his window. He puts a shirt on and he's like, what? And she tells him, you asked me what was missing from basketball when we were talking about it, why I didn't want to play anymore. And she said, you. I'm just like, girl, pick yourself up. And then this man proceeds to basically get mad at her, which I'm not gonna lie, rightly so. He was like, you could have told me 2 weeks ago or weeks ago how you felt about me, but you basically want to tell me this the day before I get married. Feel like
everything should just happen right when you say it.
Bro, no, that's you. That's normally you. Again, and he was like, you telling me this and we haven't spoken since college, which was on him. That was his fault that they ended things. And again, all this just gives me is you dodged a bullet and you shouldn't be talking to him. Foolish. Because do you know, she proceeded to say, I'll play you for it. We'll play a game of basketball for your heart. Excuse me? What do you mean? This man is whole engaged. He basically made the explanation that he don't want you. Keep it spinning in your face all this time. I don't care. He not the one for you. Just because you are used to somebody being around, and just because it's somebody familiar that you grew up with, does not mean that's the person for you.
That really does not mean that that's the person for you.
Girl, I'm so annoyed. So I really don't like how she made it seem like it was all her fault. The whole breakup was all her fault. Don't get me wrong. He said he was lost, but I didn't know how to handle being there for you and then playing basketball. You were definitely present for him. It's just because you wasn't there when he wanted you to be. That was the issue he had, amongst going through other things. And he talking about he had trust issues because of his dad. Bro, you had a whole other woman. What are you saying? She couldn't trust you. That was her issue with you. I don't like this man. I do not like this man. So Monica and him proceed to play this one-on-one. Whoever gets 10 points wins, right? Or 10 shots, whatever. Originally, she winning. And I'm like, oh no. I'm thinking his knee is really hurt, but he's wearing his brace and that's holding him back. So he takes out the brace. He making the shots. And he end up winning. And he says,
all's fair in love and basketball, right?
Again, when they put the title in the dialect of the movie, I like that. And I am so happy he won because she did not need to be with him.
She could do way better.
She could do way better.
I know I'm not gonna like the way this ends.
I really know. I just know it. So he tells her double or nothing, and they end up making out. So he cheating on his fiance. It's not the ending I thought was gonna happen, but anyways, they end up getting together. She ends up going into the WNBA, playing for the Lakers. They have a kid together. Real cute, right? What are my thoughts about this movie? Let's just keep it real quick. They should not have been together. I'm gonna just say that right now. In game wise, they should not have been together. He probably gonna be resentful over a period of time, being salty, because he was like that ever since they knew each other. Maybe he could have grown. You don't know. It's been 5 years. It was some time have passed. I did not like that matchup at all. I like that she went to the WNBA. I like that she realized her dreams. She settled for him because that's honestly the only guy that showed her attention that she focused on. Because I definitely think she could have had other options if she would have put herself in placement for other options. I really feel like this was one of them situations where that was the only guy she ever been with, and because she had invested so much emotion and energy and time into him, she felt like that was who she was supposed to be with, in my personal opinion. I feel like she didn't really give a chance to put into perspective other people or allow her heart to be open to other people. It was just him. This was not a good love movie for me. Could not be me, because when he did that whole situation in college, I would have never went back. Again, I just feel like this was a story of familiarity, of what you grew up with, what you knew, because it was safe. I do like that she held fast with what she wanted for herself, where she stuck to her guns when it came to her dreams. I like that her character was consistent and it did not change where she conformed what she wanted for a man. It was basically just based off of how she was feeling about herself. So I originally gave this movie a low rating, but I had to come back and reassess my rating because as I was editing and watching the movie, I realized it was a lot of stuff I did not take into consideration. Now, I'll be completely transparent with you guys. Originally, when I got finished watching this movie, I gave it a 5 out of 10, and it's mainly because I was annoyed and I didn't like the situations that happened within the movie. I just really didn't like a lot of the situations that happened, from how things unfolded with Monica and Q at the end of the movie. I did not like the end result. I did not like the way she kind of went back to being with him because it was familiar. I did not like that. But if I had to give this movie an overall rating, I changed it from 5 out of 10 to an 8 out of a 10. The reason why I did that is because the acting was phenomenal. The characters were very believable. The situations were very believable to a degree. The movie flowed at a decent pace. It wasn't too fast, it wasn't too slow. Even though I did not like the situations, things that transpired in the movie were reasonable, where it made sense. I'm gonna say some things were illogical, but I know a lot of people tend to do things off of emotion, so it did add up. The soundtrack was great, although I did not like the end song, the "You Made a Fool of Me." Don't get me wrong, the song is decent, but the choice is like, so you're telling me in the end result they end up together even though it's "You Made a Fool of Me." I don't know, it's just I did not like that song choice, because to me it would have gave, okay, so they're not gonna be together. That makes sense. But it's like, "You made a fool of me," and then flash forward, they together and they had a baby. I will say the song just basically gave me validation that they wasn't supposed to be together, in my personal opinion. I really did not like the ending at all. It's given either they gonna be in a relationship where they resent each other towards further some years down the line, or they probably gonna end up in divorce. Overall, this movie is a good drama. In my personal opinion, it's not romantic at all. I did not find anything too much in this movie romantic. I know people talk about your favorite romance movies. I think the only thing that probably was romantic to me is how he kept track of the rebounds and stuff she did while she was playing in the basketball game. But at the same time, it's like, were you actually focused on me, or is it just because you have love for the game of basketball? You know, nothing was really romantic about this movie. It just seemed like two kids grew up, they were in love or liked each other. There was some difficulty within their relationship. One of them wasn't very supportive and was kind of self-absorbed, and the other one wanted to be with this guy because it was who she always liked and it was familiar to her. I could not really get with it. But I will say it's a good movie to watch. Although, because of how annoyed I was, I would probably not be watching this movie again. Nothing against the creator, because again, very well written story, but I just did not like the end result. If the ending was different, I probably would want to watch it again, but because of the ending, I'm just like, you know what? This ain't for me. Or maybe if I grew up watching this movie, I would have more nostalgia for it, where I would want to watch it more, but I'm like, no. Check it out. Even though I did a whole recap of this movie, I do feel like you guys should still watch it just to get the overall experience of the acting, the actual situation so you could actually understand what I was feeling as I was watching it. Make sure you guys check out my other reaction videos. I'll have the link down below in the description box. I'm going to try to do 2 movie reactions every single month. And then obviously I'll have my dating drama topics and then other videos mixed in. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to give me a subscribe, like, leave a comment, let me know what other movies you would like for me to react to, recap in the comments down below. But I'll be seeing you guys again soon. Stay blessed, stay positive. Bye.